You got ID on you?
Why do you need my ID?
Because somebody saw you looking at cars, so I'm here just checking to see what's going on. You got ID on you?
Yeah, I do, but did I do anything?
Yeah, I'm figuring that out right now. I'll take a look at your ID, though.
You don't need my ID unless I did something.
Okay.
Unless you're taking me in for something like that.
Turn around, put your hands behind your back right now.
For
now!
What? For what?
Turn around and put your hands behind your back now!
For what?
32 seconds. That's how long it took this officer to go from, "How's it going, man?" to "Turn around, put your hands behind your back." This man just got off work. He's standing next to his own motorcycle in the parking lot of his own workplace. And now he's about to be assaulted multiple times by a cop because a stranger in a parking lot thought he looked suspicious. I'm going to break down exactly what happened here. And I'm going to show you the exact moment on this body camera where this police officer lies to another cop about what happened and didn't realize that it was being recorded. And in the end, I'm going to give you the verdict. Is what these cops did lawful or was it awful?
How's it going, man? I'm Officer Lores, Clarkson Police Department. Put your phone down for a second. What do you got in your pocket there? Is that just something hanging off your backpack? What is that, a hanger? What are you doing with that? Is this your bike?
Yes.
It's your bike? You got ID on you?
Now let me stop this for a second because I want you to listen to the first two words out of this officer's mouth. He doesn't say, "We got a report about a possible theft and I'm here to check on it." He didn't say, "Do you work here?" Or, "Is this your vehicle over here?" Instead, he's already asking about objects in Mark Domino's pockets. He's asking about whether it's his backpack. In fact, he's interrogating him before he's even mentioned why he's there. Now here's the context. A woman in the parking lot by the name of Jody Brunel called 911 saying she saw a man get in the door, 3 different doors of the same car, and then walk away. That's it. That's the extent of the report. She didn't even say whether she saw him steal anything. In fact, these are her exact words. She said, and I quote, "I couldn't see if he took anything." What actually happened? Mark Domino is 52 years old, and he and his wife both work at Walmart. She drove their car, and he drove his motorcycle to their place of employment. They parked on opposite ends of the parking lot. After his shift, he walked to her car to grab something before deciding to ride his motorcycle home. That's it. A man went to his own car in his own workplace parking lot. Now watch what happens.
Yeah, I'm figuring that out right now. I'll take a look at your ID, though.
You don't need my ID unless I did something.
Okay.
Unless you're taking me in for something like that.
Turn around, put your hands behind your back right now.
For
now!
For what?
Turn around, put your hands behind your back now!
For what?
Before we get started,
108, pick it up.
please review these
You're gonna
items.
obey me, or you're
Why
gonna go
do I
on the
need to
ground.
obey you?
Because I'm giving you a lawful order.
For what?
Turn around and put
Did
your
I
hands
do
behind your
anything?
back.
Did I do anything?
Yes. Turn around and put your hands behind your back.
What did I do?
Do you want to get tased?
Do you want to get tased? An officer just threatened a man to tase him before he's even told him what he's done. A man who wasn't being aggressive, and a man who didn't make any threatening movements. In fact, Mr. Domino simply asked one simple question. He asked, "What did I do?" And the officer's response is a threat of force. Now think about how you would react in this situation. You're just there, off of work, about to drive away, and a cop shows up being aggressive like this. But let's start by being clear here, because under Supreme Court law of Terry versus Ohio, a police officer can temporarily detain someone if they have reasonable suspicion that criminal activity is afoot. And based on a 911 call from a named source here, it is arguable that the officer, Officer Lures, had reasonable suspicion to at least briefly detain Mr. Domino. But having the legal authority to detain someone does not give this officer the authority to then skip every piece of professional conduct training he's received about how to de-escalate a situation. Washington State requires officers to take de-escalation training every single year. And the California Commission on Peace Officer Standards and Training, one of the most comprehensive guides in the country, explicitly states that officers should, quote, "seek first to understand before attempting to be understood." But Officer Lewis, he didn't seek to understand anything here. He didn't tell Mr. Domino that there was a theft report. He didn't ask which vehicle was Mr. Domino's at all. He didn't check the registration. He just went from 0 to "obey me" to "on the ground" in 32 seconds. But watch what happens next when Mr. Domino tries to find out what he's being accused of.
Do you know I work here?
Turn around and put your hands behind your back.
Do you know I work here? This is my bike.
Okay.
So what did I do for you to approach me and then tell me that put my hands behind my back?
Sir.
What are you arresting me for?
I'm not arresting you. Right now, you're not cooperating with
For
me.
what?
And you're getting
You asked me
agitated.
you asked me for my ID.
Right.
I don't have to give you my ID
Okay.
unless I've done something. What have I done?
Turn around and put your hands behind your back.
For what? Are you arresting me? And for what
I'm
purpose?
detaining you.
Detaining me for what?
Now listen to what Mark Domino's saying. He's not cursing, he's not threatening, and he's not reaching for anything. He's asking one question: what did I do? And that question, what did I do, is exactly what the de-escalation manual says the officer is supposed to answer. The manual says to give the person a voice, explain the situation. If Officer Lewis had just said 3 sentences, "Sir, we got a call that someone was looking through cars on the lot. That's why I'm here. Can you tell me what you are doing here?" If he had just said those 3 sentences, this entire encounter would be over in 60 seconds. Completely done. Instead, Mark Domino tells him he works there, that this is his bike, but the cop doesn't care. He doesn't follow up, he doesn't investigate, he just keeps repeating the same command. This is my pet peeve with cops, and this right here is an example of everything that's wrong with modern policing. Because cops show up immediately assuming someone is a problem, they escalate the situation hoping that the innocent person will take the bait and get upset. Now watch, because now is when it turns physical.
Why are you detaining me?
You're not even listening.
What did I do for you to detain me?
Turn around, put your hands behind your back.
Was there a report that I stole something?
Yes. Turn around.
You just said, hold on.
Stop, Dick. Stop.
I can
Stop.
get my phone out.
Stop.
Wait a minute. Why are you putting your
Stop.
hands on me?
Stop.
Why are you putting your hands?
Hey,
why are you
stop.
putting your hands?
Stop.
No.
Stop.
You're about to get tased.
What?
You're gonna get
Why are you
tased.
putting
Stop.
your hands on me?
Stop.
Why are you putting your hands on me?
Stop. Stop resisting.
You are
Stop.
attacking me.
Stop
You got a
resisting.
call from you vehicle prowling. You match the description.
Stop
Oh,
resisting.
black guy, vehicle prowling?
Okay,
Stop.
I know my
Stop
rights.
talking and stop fighting, or we will use force.
You're using force now.
Put your hands behind
I
your
just-
back.
Why are you
You
detaining me?
match the description of a vehicle prowl suspect. At this time, you're being detained.
Detained for what?
What did he do?
What did I do?
Stop resisting. Stop resisting.
Get on your stomach.
Stop resisting. You're gonna get tased again. Roll
He's a
over.
vehicle prowl suspect. Is he? Yes.
Stop resisting. You're gonna go, or you're gonna get tased
Get
again.
on your stomach.
I work here. I just got out of work.
I just got off work. That is literally what Mr. Domino is saying as the officer is assaulting him. A 52-year-old man on the parking lot in his own workplace being assaulted multiple times, all because he went to his own car. Real quick, you see this right here? This is the Plod Note Pen S, and I wear it every single day. Every meeting, every strategy session, every important conversation. And honestly, as a criminal defense attorney, this is exactly the kind of tool I wish more people understood. Because when something serious happens, the question always becomes, what was actually said? Not what you remember later, or what somebody wrote in a report, or what you thought when the adrenaline was pumping, but what actually happened. That is why I tell people all the time, document everything. If you get pulled over and you're being questioned by the police, and it's legal and safe to record where you're at, protect yourself by preserving the details. The problem is most people do not. They forget, they panic, they fumble their phone, or their phone's in their pocket and the audio sounds terrible. That's why I use Plod. The Note Pen S clips right on, has dual microphones with noise cancellation, and records clear audio without me having to hold my phone or interrupt the moment. It records, transcribes, and summarizes everything automatically using AI. When I'm done, it gives me an AI-powered transcript with speaker labels so I can see who said what. But my favorite part is that it doesn't just give me a messy transcript. You can choose different AI templates depending on the situation. So whether it's a client meeting, sales call, strategy session, police interaction, or conversation you need to remember, it turns it into organized notes that actually make sense. Plus, it's smaller than AirPods, but it can record continuously for up to 20 hours. And I can search months of recordings with one question and jump straight to the exact moment I need. I literally use this every day. If details matter, Plod helps you capture conversations, preserve important information, and instantly turn recordings into AI notes and summaries. And Plod is currently running a Prime Day promotion, so use code Hampton in the link down in the description below. Now wait, did Mark Domino physically resist when the officer reached for him? Technically, you could say yes, because here's the problem. When an officer already decides he thinks you're guilty like he did Mr. Domino, as soon as he goes to reach for someone, what's the natural response of an innocent person? An innocent person's going to go, wait a minute, what are we doing here? And even pulling back just a little bit is going to immediately escalate the situation and give the officer all the justification he needs to now throw you on the ground and do exactly what he did here to Mr. Domino. But here's what that de-escalation research that all these cops are required to take, here's what it tells us about this. There are many levels of control outside of physical control. And while a lack of control can sometimes lead to an officer getting hurt, over-controlling a situation, whether it was intentional or not, can now create hostility and now actually create the problem the officer claimed they were trying to avoid. That's not my opinion. That's straight from the California Post de-escalation manual. Officer Lures created the hostility. He created the resistance. Every escalation in this encounter goes back to one decision this cop made. He's demanding compliance rather than taking 30 seconds to explain the situation.
Are you Jody?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have your ID with you?
I do. I'm over here.
Okay. Is that the male that you
Yeah.
saw? Okay. So you saw one male walking from all the way over there,
Clear over to here.
and
'cause
that's the male that we talked to.
Yeah, I watched him. He
Okay.
got into 3 doors of that car, and then he just walked
Okay.
away and came clear over here. So I
Okay.
thought, well, that's not right.
Male that came to this bike, everything that he did, he's an employee. We've got a witness that saw him going into cars.
Whoa, did you catch that? He's an employee. They already know. And the car, it's registered to him. And his wife, who also works at Walmart, drives that car. The whole suspicious vehicle prowl was a man who owns his own car going to his own car in a parking lot where he's employed. And here's the kicker. The witness who called it in, Jody Burnell, she never said he actually stole anything. In fact, she specifically said, I couldn't tell if he grabbed anything. And then she claims he only looked in one car. Of course he did. The one car was his car. Just imagine for a moment if Officer Lewis had actually done his job and walked over, looked at the car, ran the plate, and taken a moment to ask Mark Domino a question. Is this your car? If he had asked that one question, none of this would have happened. No taser, no arrest, no report, and no lawsuit. But he didn't ask. And now watch what happens when Officer Lewis starts talking to the other cop about what happened, because now is when the body cam catches him lying.
You just wouldn't talk to him?
No, and then he started, like, he was just super agitated, I don't have to tell you my name. I'm like, listen, man, so right now you're being detained, and he got all jacked up, and so I'm like, okay, turn around and put your hands behind your back. I'm going to detain you. No. And then once Rabbit got here, he reached into his pocket real fast, and we went hands on at that point and sort of danced around with him because he's a big dude like this for a while. And then finally he wrapped his arm around me, and I had my taser out already.
Now stop right there. Did you hear what he just said? He just wouldn't talk to me. He was super agitated. He was all jacked up. But let me show you what actually happened side by side because the body camera recorded every word of it.
You just wouldn't talk to him?
No, and then he started, like, he was just, is this your bike?
Yes.
It's your bike? You got ID on you?
Why do you need my ID?
Because somebody saw you looking at cars, so I'm here just checking to see what's going on. You got ID on you?
Yeah, I do, but did I do anything?
Yeah, I'm figuring that out right now. Super agitated, I don't have to tell you my name. I'm like, listen, man, so right now you're being detained.
Yeah, I do, but did I do anything?
Yeah, I'm figuring that out right now. I'll take a look at your ID, though.
You don't need my ID unless I did something.
Okay.
Unless you're taking me in for something
Turn
I've
around,
done.
put your hands behind your back right
what?
now.
For what?
Now!
For what?
And he got all jacked up, and so I'm like, okay, turn around and put your hands behind your back. I'm going to detain you. No. And then
Do you know I work here?
turn around and put your hands behind your back.
Do you know I work here? This is my bike.
Okay.
So what did I do for you to approach me?
You see, there's a vast difference between what Officer Lewis told his fellow cop and what the body camera actually recorded. And this is not a matter of misinterpretation or him misremembering. He described a combative, uncooperative suspect, but the camera shows a confused man merely asking what he did wrong. And the other officer, listen to what he says.
All he had to do was talk.
Yeah, if you would have said that's my car, it could have been done in 2 seconds.
The other officer is blaming Mr. Domino for not resolving the situation. But Mr. Domino didn't know the situation. He was never told there was a report about a car. He was only asked for his ID, and when he asked why, he was told to put his hands behind his back. You can't blame a man for not explaining something he was never asked to explain. And the cops certainly can't claim he was uncooperative when they never gave him a chance to cooperate. So what happened here? Mark Domino was arrested that night and charged with resisting arrest and obstructing law enforcement. He was released a few hours later, and Clarkston Police Chief Joel Hastings announced there would be an internal use of force investigation. And then something happened I've got to give Mark Domino tremendous credit for. Mr. Domino went into court, knew that he was right about this situation, and refused to accept a plea deal that the prosecution offered him to try to make this go away. In fact, the prosecution said if he would just stay out of trouble for 3 months, all the charges would get dropped, but it did require him to say he had done something wrong. He rejected that deal and then filed a $5 million tort claim against the city. And he told the Lewiston Tribune something that I really want you to hear. He said he has no intentions of making this about money. He simply wants an apology and an acknowledgement that the cops handled this wrong. Now, ultimately, all the charges against Mr. Domino were dismissed because the prosecutor knew they didn't have a case here. And he ultimately, and this is the part that I feel bad for him, he settled the case for $25,000. Why? Because according to Mark Domino, this was never about getting paid. It was about being heard. And it was about Mr. Domino standing in that parking lot, saying what he said to Officer Lewis and wanting the rest of the world to know, what exactly did I do? All right, but here's the verdict we've got to come to. Was this lawful or awful? Let's start with Officer Lewis. He failed to tell Mark Domino why he's being contacted. He failed to employ any measure of de-escalation. He failed to check whether the car belonged to the man he was confronting, and he escalated from hello to hands behind your back in 32 seconds. And then, while the body camera was still recording, he misrepresented the entire counter to his fellow officer. Officer Lewis, awful. But what about Mark Domino? He tried to explain himself. He told the officer he worked there. He asked what he was being accused of. He represented himself in court with no legal training, and he rejected a plea deal because he knew he was right. He filed a $5 million lawsuit and only settled it for $25,000 because it was never about the money. He wanted the apology and a commitment this would never happen again. Mark Domino, lawful, but with a warning. The one mistake he did make is he fell for the trap that when an officer goes to grab for you, even when you're innocent, he's counting on you to pull back so he can claim you resisted. The only mistake I saw that he made is he fell into that trap that allowed the officer to now physically abuse him right there in that parking lot. But the real lesson here, you've got to record everything. Never count on the body cam of that cop actually working. Because one officer who's in a situation that's already made up his mind may turn around and tell his fellow cop a completely different version of the events, and now it's your word versus theirs. But speaking of corrupt cops, if you think Officer Lewis is bad, check out this next video where we break down the traffic stop that finally ended the career of America's most corrupt cop. See you over there.